Well, I'm joined now by Sam Fowles, barrister and a fellow at the Foreign Policy Centre. It's very noisy here, Sam. But how long does Theresa May have now to try and push her deal through, whether tonight or whether she keeps bringing it back before she has to delay Article 50?
Well, in theory, she could wait till the day before, even the minute before we leave to delay Article 50. In practice, in order to delay, you need the consent of all 27 member states. So you're going to need enough time to get all 27 member states together to give that consent. So practically, we're talking about a week.
What do you think is going to happen tonight?
I think it's pretty clear, and has been pretty clear for months, if not the last year, that the deal is not going to pass. Whether that's by 80 votes or 200 votes is perhaps not so clear. The thing we're then waiting to see is what Theresa May does next. Does she bring it back, keep asking Parliament to vote for it, which she said she's very against, asking people to re-vote on questions when it comes to the people's vote, but she may take a different stand when it comes to Parliament, but she can only lose so many times before she has to take a different path.
And in terms of the economy and trade, which I know you've worked on trade policy and so on, how damaging is it to have this indecision, this pause?
It looks incredibly bad to the rest of the world. If Brexit goes ahead, we're going to need to negotiate trade agreements with a raft of other states. Those states will be watching us and saying, if they can't sort out the first step, then how are we ever going to reach an agreement with them? And it will mean that when those trade negotiations start, those states will have to go in very, very hard and insist on something and very, very clear, which is going to make it much more difficult for the UK to get the sort of trade agreements that it wants.
And just briefly, in this country, you've been advising charities and others on the withdrawal deal. How worried are people about, we can see the divisions right in front of us here, can't we?
People are incredibly worried because this can has been kicked down the road so many times. People just don't have certainty. And the way we stand at the moment is the default option is a no deal. So charities and businesses are incredibly worried about this can getting kicked still further down the road, rather than MPs and ministers coming together and finding some sort of solution to this.
Sam Fowles, thanks very much indeed. The vote is, of course, coming up in about 2.5 hours' time. Matthew, back to you.